And welcome back to the Beer Battered Sports Podcast, the podcast created by sports fans for sports fans, because let's be honest, we're probably the most qualified people to talk about our favorite teams. I'm the disembodied voice of your co host, Isaac.
I'm 40.
And I know him.
Hey, and
Yeah,
welcome to episode 98.
we do have special guest Melania in the background. If you do hear a kid,
Okay.
she's over here reading a book right now.
Hey,
Hey,
Milani.
Milani. It's always a fun episode when Milani is here. Anyway, welcome to episode 98, everybody. You may be wondering, Isaac, why are you a disembodied voice today? Well, I got called into work, so I am currently doing this at work. And for the sake of privacy from my employer, I'm keeping the camera off unless I can find a place where no one can see. Hopefully that'll be soon. But yeah, welcome to episode 98. This should be a fun one. We've got a lot to talk about. We got a wild card weekend to recap. We got to talk about the swath retirements and firings that happened to some of the biggest coaches in all of football. And because I know you want to talk about this now, we got to talk about the All-Pro team being announced. And also the Pro Bowl, because there were some massive snubs.
We can briefly go over that, but I think those two conversations will be kind of one and the same.
Basically the same.
Yeah.
Real quick, though, before we talk about anything else, I know we don't talk about hockey as much, but I do want to shout this out. Shout out to Minnesota Wild goalie Marc-Andre Fleury, who just moved it to second all-time in terms of goalie wins, passing the legendary Patrick Waugh last night with his 532nd career victory. Here's a fun fact, because I know you two don't watch enough hockey. Who has the most all-time? Who has the most wins all-time?
Great. Wayne Gretzky.
He did not play goalie.
No, I don't know. There's a hockey player I can name. Wait, Alex
no idea.
Ovechkin. That's another one I can name.
We gotta get you into hockey, Gnome. Now it's this is where Kylie would. This is where we suffer from not having Kylie on the show anymore. It's Martin Brodeur, legendary Devils goalie who played from like 1994 to 2014.
Oh, that's our team.
692 career victories.
Oh my goodness,
That
that's
is
a lot of
crazy.
hockey.
Oh yeah.
Do they
Dude,
have
hockey-
the same CTE problem that the NFL's kind of getting right now?
Not really. It's more of an issue of not getting your throat sliced, which happens. Actually, that did happen in Europe recently. There was a player who did get killed.
Oh yeah. I remember you
Yeah, you
mentioning
heard it.
this.
Yeah. So that's kind of more of the issue of like neck protection. I don't know if they have big CTE issues. They might have CTE issues. Careers in hockey always seem to last way longer than anybody else or any other sport. Well, with that being said, we got a new feature on the show, and that is that I figured out how to create rolling banners for all of our topics. So let's talk about our first big topic, as you can see rolling along the screen underneath you right now, everybody. And that is that over a 48-hour span over the last week, 3 of the greatest coaches of our lifetimes all either retired or were fired. Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll, and Nick Saban. Discuss.
It's a new era. It's a new era. It's a new era, man. It's weird. It's like shit. Like I don't know. For me, the new era of football started when they changed the number rule that had been my entire childhood and consistent for years.
Oh my god!
It did. I'm just speaking objective truths here. But this is bigger. You know, this is like Belichick has been coaching the Patriots for seemingly my whole existence. Pete Carroll has been in the Seahawks for as long as I can remember, and Saban has always been at hey Milani. Saban has always been at Alabama for like my whole life, seemingly. Like it's just all of them gone in the same day is just pretty much crazy. I mean, like I think this was like last Wednesday, right? This is like I remember we talked about Pete on the podcast. We had just like gotten the news. Like we were like, oh yeah, let's talk about this. And then like after we left, Belichick and Saban were both announced. And it was like, what the?
Yeah.
It's not overly surprising, I suppose. Like no, never mind. That's a terrible take. It's super surprising to see Saban go. And for Bill, I mean, you know, it was a lot of people were saying it was going to happen anyways, but it's still just crazy to see them both go. These are arguably the greatest coaches of all time.
The Pete Carroll one was kind of expected. Same with Bill Belichick. Like as the season progressed, you knew, he's probably not sticking around. They're probably going to make some changes. But the Nick Saban one was a bit of a shocker because Saban had been just this larger-than-life force at Alabama for so long that, it was kind of expected that he would just always be there. But I guess we should have seen some of the signs because if you've watched Alabama over the last couple of years and watched Saban, he doesn't really have the same fire that he previously did. It's noticeable that he's not like as loud or screaming at his players as much. And I think there was some audio that was leaked after the SEC championship game when they beat Georgia, where it seemed like he was telling Kirby Smart, this might be our last time facing each other. So I think he knew this and was planning this for a while. It is shocking. I know the entire college football world just breathed the largest sigh of relief they have ever breathed in their lives. But there's part of me that's really going to miss it because there was just something special about watching Saban's teams just annihilate the rest of college football, even if it came at the expense of your team, and even if it got to the point where it was like, all right, enough already. We get it. Your team is really good. You don't have to beat us by 65 every time you play us.
Yeah. Speaking on what you guys both said, I think the Saban one was definitely the most shocking. Saban one was actually the most hurtful of them all too, because I really love Saban, man. Saban was one of those coaches when I started coaching little league teams and stuff. Saban was like one of the coaches that I tried to mold my.
Oh hell no, you did not. What were you doing to those little leaguers? What?
Hey, my little leaguers.
God.
My little leaguers were ready to go every week.
Oh no, bro.
Those guys, they had the best practices every week. They, we definitely made everything fun and things like that, but everything was definitely Nick Saban mentality. You had to go earn things. There wasn't anything given to you. I don't care if, like, I had an assistant coach on my team. One of his sons played on the team, and I didn't care that his dad was one of the coaches. Like, he had to earn his spot. Like, everything was earned on that team, and those kids, they had so last year was my last year coaching them, but they went into this year. I did go to a couple games and stuff to support them, but they ended up winning the championship and stuff like that this year. But yeah, man, I
so
say that.
So I'm not the only one that's just picturing 40 running around like on the sideline of a little league game, right? And just like he sees that his little leaguers are in base package against 3 receivers, and he just calls timeout, and just runs on the field screaming at them.
I was definitely that coach. I was definitely
we're not on program. Why are we not?
Yeah, I was that.
I would love to see that.
No, these are like 12 years old. What the fuck are you doing?
No, I was that. And the thing is, a lot of the parents loved it, but then there was a lot of parents that disliked it. So
yeah, they were like, you don't have to yell at Jim just because I assume that there are children named Jim. I've never met one, but I assume there are children named Jim.
People don't name their
kids
have to anymore, man.
Well, at some point they did. We're old, so you don't have to yell at Jimothy over here just because he lined up. He wasn't on the. He lined up off the ball, and then you can. then you just. I mean, come on, 40. That's crazy though. That's funny as hell though. Y'all better have gone undefeated though.
Hey man, I was talking about this with Kylie last night, and like I was talking about how like I could never coach like Saban. I would never be able to do that because I would feel so bad. Now Milani could. That sounds like a Saban in training.
She could. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's trained. She's ready to go.
Like, there are 5 receivers on the field. Why are you at base?
But no, yeah. Going back to what I was saying though, definitely Saban was the one that hurt the most. I've always loved Saban. My mom's dad, my grandfather, he was actually from Alabama. He's buried in Alabama, so I have family from Alabama and stuff. So I always grew up, liking Alabama and stuff like that. And as far as I can remember from watching my first Alabama game, Nick Saban was there. So Saban was definitely the most hurtful one. But it's crazy to see those 3 go. But like Noam said, things are changing. And Nick Saban, college is way different now from when he first started coaching. They got the transfer portal now and stuff like that. He can't went to the transfer portal anymore. You got guys like Deion Sanders as head coach. Everybody wants to go play for Deion. So everyone that goes in the transfer portal, they're 9 times out of 10 going to Colorado. I think Dion is number 2 of signing recruits in the offseason so far from the transfer portal. So
I
just
believe it.
tells you right there.
All I'm going to say is that Dion better sign a bunch of defensive players because I don't want to be hyped up for Colorado only for them to like win one of their last 9 games again. That was embarrassing as hell.
Let me ask you guys something though. Do you think this is the end of Alabama's era of dominance in college football?
1000%.
Well,
Me
maybe.
too, 40.
The new guy they got,
Figured.
Kalen DeBoer, did just take Washington to the national championship game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know if he has the same intensity because if you watch Saban, one of Saban's greatest aspects of him was his ability to adapt with the game. When he first started at Alabama in 2007, his main focus was building a suffocating defense and a solid running game. Alabama every year would have just insane running back talent. Mark Ingram, Trent Richardson, Bo Scarborough, my favorite Alabama player of all time, Derrick Henry, who else? Eddie Lacy. And they would always have incredible defenses. Damian Harris, yeah.
TJ Yeldon.
TJ Yeldon.
Whoa.
Yeah, and they would also and he would complement them with like some average bum ass quarterback like John Parker Wilson or Greg McElroy. AJ McCarron. And then just give those guys like just give him like 2 good receivers and he'd be set, and that would do it. But as the game evolved with the spread offense being more and more used during the mid-2010s, he was able to evolve too. After that 2017 championship run, they switched over from Jalen Hurts to Tua Tagovailoa, and now it was like, okay, Alabama now is pumping out like insane defensive backs, cornerbacks. They're pumping out insane wide receiver. The wide receivers he had during the second half of his tenure at Alabama are incredible.
God, he went, whoa. Jerry Jeudy. I mean, Jerry Jeudy, what was it? The guy who got Henry Ruggs.
And
then behind them, Devontae Smith and
but even before that, Amari Cooper was right before them.
And Julio Jones. He
oh my God.
Like half of the NFL of our childhood and our teen years was because of Nick Saban. So I think that's why we focused so much on him. Belichick, it was more of just like, fuck that dude, he cheats all the time. But I will say, whoever ends up getting Belichick, I would love it. I saw this meme going around. Belichick interviewing with the Falcons, and the Falcons asking, so can you describe a time you overcame massive adversity? And Belichick just looks at us like,
no Falcons person is going to ask that to Bill Belichick. What the fuck?
He can actually name like 5 of them because his Patriots always found a way to come back. Almost always.
No Falcons person is going to ask that of Bill Belichick, as if they don't know. As if that 28-3 shit does not just live in their mind rent-free every day. Like, they don't have to go to sleep and wake up reliving the nightmare.
Now, I do want to bring this up real quick. The Patriots have already filled their coaching hole. They're the first team to do so. Gerard Mayo, former player who played under Belichick. He's been working on the defensive side for the Patriots. And I'll give them that. Patriots defense was solid this last season. Their offense was shit, but their defense was low-key really good.
How much of that was Belichick, though? I guess we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what Jared Mayo does as a head coach. Where do you think Belichick goes? Where do you think he goes, Isaac?
I want him to go to Atlanta for the memes, but he's not. I think
no way. Why the fuck would he go to Atlanta?
I think he most likely is going to end up being head coach of the Chargers or the Cowboys. And
he did say he wants. Well, I don't know if it's going to be the Cowboys because supposedly what Belichick said was he wants to go to a team that has a lot of young talent that's underachieving. So if you look at it, it would be either Atlanta Chargers or Commanders.
Ooh. Real quick. I know we're real quick. Just some quick breaking news from basketball. The Pacers are trading Bruce Brown, Jordan Nora, and 3 first-round picks to Toronto in exchange for Pascal Siakam.
Okay. Interesting.
So, I see 40 losing his mind there.
It went through.
I think
Pascal
it did.
Siakam for who? Bruce Brown,
Jordan Nora, and 3 first-round picks. New Orleans is also going to be a third team in the deal, sending Kira Lewis to the Raptors.
So the Raptors now have R.J. Barrett, OG Anunoby, Bruce Brown, Dennis Schroeder, Valanciunas. I mean, not Valanciunas. Yeah, the Raptors actually look pretty good. I'm not going to lie. But the Pacers look pretty good, too. Pascal Siakam to the Pacers is going to be a great addition to them because now they have Pascal and Miles Turner down low.
And Halliburton, bro. That's that's good. Wait, Halliburton got hurt recently. They'll still be good.
Alburn got hurt recently, but when he comes back, that's a great lineup.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, back to what we were talking about. Any lasting thoughts on just real comment here? Yeah, Milani always
another Milani fan.
Yeah, everyone loves Milani.
We got 3 co-hosts, and Milani steals the show again. Unbelievable,
dude. It's like a running joke at this point.
Every time.
Any last thoughts, gentlemen, on all these coaching changes? Any predictions?
If Bill Belichick goes to the Chargers, they will win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Easily within 1 year.
Well,
I think the Chargers' problems that they have are in specifically special teams Charger-esque blunders and coaching stuff. Bill Belichick is literally like, no matter how you look at anything else he does, which he does really well, those are the things that he is the best at. So he's gonna absolutely he's gonna absolutely turn that around, and they're gonna instantly win. I think that's my take on it.
2023.
I don't really have any other thoughts. Wherever Bill goes, he'll probably succeed.
Well, with that being said, here is the All-Pro team for 2023. We're not going to talk about the Pro Bowl because the Pro Bowl was released, and I'm just saying now, if you still took the Pro Bowl seriously, these selections.
No, who did? Who did? Keep in mind,
there still were some
Mac
people.
Jones
I'm sure
and Tyler Huntley both made a Pro Bowl. Mac Jones, Tyler Huntley, both made a Pro Bowl.
Oh yeah.
All right.
So
I will say Antoine Winfield Jr. getting snubbed for the Pro Bowl is
for Patrick Peterson, who hasn't done shit. That shit pissed me off.
Was it Patrick Peterson?
Yeah.
Or was it
It was Patrick Peterson.
Was it Buda Baker?
No. Oh, it was Buda Baker.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
I
thought it was Pat Pete.
Why would it be Pat Pete? Pat Pete's a corner, and Antoine Winfield's a safety.
Is it Buda Baker?
Yes.
Yeah. What the hell? Anyway, here's your 2023 All-Pro team, ladies and gentlemen. First team All-Pro at quarterback, Lamar Jackson, as long as Eight's on the field.
Eight is on the field.
Deserved there. At running back, Christian McCaffrey. Yeah. Fullback, Kyle Juszczyk. Shout out, by the way, to Kyle Juszczyk's girlfriend, wife. I don't know their relationship. Apparently, she makes custom NFL merch for like the NFL wives and girlfriends, including Taylor Swift. I thought that was pretty cool. At wide receiver, Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, and the Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown. At tight end, George Kittle. Enough of that Travis Kelce shit. I can't believe he got a Pro Bowl by. I'm a Chiefs fan, and I still thought that Travis Kelce getting an invite to the Pro Bowl was
still one of the best ones. Just for his standards, it was.
No, he was shit this year, bro. He was terrible.
He wasn't
this year.
shit. He was still pretty good.
Whatever. At left tackle, Trent Williams. At left guard, Joe Tooney. Center, Jason Kelce. Enjoy retirement.
Deserved.
At right guard,
first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
Jason Kelce.
At right guard, Zach Martin. At right tackle, Penei Sewell.
That one's a good one. I like that. I like the Penei Sewell first team All-Pro he got. He really deserved it this year. I just kind of thought he'd slip under the radar, but it's good to see the Associated Press give him credit.
At your edge rushers, Myles Garrett and TJ Watt.
Yeah, no shit and no shit. Oh my God.
Your interior defensive linemen, Aaron Donald and Chris Jones.
Okay, interesting. I personally would have thought Dexter Lawrence would have gotten it over Chris Jones this year.
Well, this is the thing too. The press is the one that makes the last decision, but all pros actually voted by the players. So this is the players telling you who are the best players in the league this year.
And I'll say this much: even though he missed that much time due to the contract holdout, whatever was going on, Chris Jones still was insane. Like he still got that bonus on the final game of the season for like getting like 10 sacks or something, and he did that while not playing the entire season. So.
Dexter Lawrence, I know, made the Pro Bowl, and that's, I guess, good enough. Because
don't worry, Dexter really Lawrence
deserved it.
He's second team All-Pro. Don't worry, he's second team All-Pro interior.
It's good to see Aaron Donald once again on top of the league, where he always is.
Your linebackers: Fred Warner, Roquan Smith, and Quincy Williams.
Quincy Williams, first team All-Pro.
Low key, I didn't know about that one, but
Quincy Williams had a great year.
He did. He did have a great year. First team All-Pro kind of year though. Like best, he's the third best linebacker in the league this year. I'd give him top 10, but
statistics say so, man.
All right.
Your cornerbacks, Deron Bland, Sauce Gardner, and Trent McDuffie. Now, the McDuffie one, I was like, are we sure about that? But then I saw him lay out Tyreek in the playoff game and thought, yeah, okay, yeah, we're good. Yeah.
I think McDuffie probably didn't deserve it as much as Patrick Surtain personally, but he was also been really good.
I think McDuffie didn't deserve it over his teammate.
L'Jarius Sneed. L'Jarius? I love Sneed.
Ooh.
I love L'Jarius Sneed.
Sneed was really good. Chiefs secondary, like last year, the Chiefs secondary was like really problematic. And like going into the Super Bowl, it was like, okay, we're gonna get torched, so we just need to score. This year, it was more of like, oh, we got this because our secondary really is improved.
Sneed has been steady his whole career, man. Like he really has been good from day one. Very good pick for them.
Your safeties, by the way, Kyle Hamilton, Ravens flock, and my boy Antoine Winfield Jr., who had one of the best seasons a Buck safety has had since the days of John Lynch. I love it. He got snubbed for a fucking Pro Bowl.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Antoine Winfield Jr. has had one of the best years I've ever seen a safety have. Maybe not statistically, but my goodness, he was everywhere, lighting people up. Great coverage skills. Oh my goodness, like just always on top of his zones.
Your
definitely deserved.
First team All-Pro kicker Brandon Aubrey, punter AJ Cole, kick returner Keyshawn Nixon, punt returner Rashid Shaheed, special teamer Miles Killebrew, and long snapper Ross Matisick.
Okay.
Yeah. Your second team All-Pro. I'll just rapid fire these guys. QB Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott. Running back Kyron Williams. That dude balled out this year. Fullback Pat Ricard. Wide receivers AJ Brown, Puka Nacua, Brandon Ayuk, and Mike Evans. Nakua is going to be a problem for years to come.
I'm surprised you didn't get that over Sam Brown, honestly.
Yeah. Tight end Sam Laporta. Left tackle Tyron Smith. Left guard Tyler Smith. God, that Cowboys O-line is so good.
Yep.
Too bad it couldn't help them out.
Too bad about what happened to them, right?
Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit. Y'all have seen the title. Y'all, and those of you on Facebook have seen the description. Y'all know what's coming. Center Frank Ragnow. Right guard Chris Lindstrom. Right tackle Lane Johnson. Edge rushers Micah Parsons and Max Crosby. Interior linemen Justin Matabuike and Dexter Lawrence.
Interesting. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Justin Matabuike gets second team All-Pro. I like that.
Linebackers Demario Davis, Bobby Wagner, and Patrick Queen. Was Bobby Wagner even good this year?
He was all right.
He did lead the Seahawks in tackles again.
Okay, fair enough.
Middle linebacker, man.
Cornerback Jalen Johnson, Teron Johnson, and Charvarius Ward.
Charvarius Ward's been excellent. Jalen Johnson's been the most underrated corner in the league. He's been phenomenal.
Safeties Jesse Bates III and Justin Simmons.
Yeah, fair enough.
Kicker Jake Elliott. Punter Brian
guys. Where's
Langer.
Gino? No, I'm just kidding. I mean, Gino did have a ton of interceptions, but
kick returner Marvin Mims, punt returner Darius Davis, special teamer Jalen Reeves-Maben, and long snapper Andrew DiPaolo. I know I butchered that last one.
The only reason Nacua made second team and Amon-Ra made first team is because I think it's like a 60-yard difference. I think Nacua was fourth in receiving yards and Amon-Ra was third in receiving yards. The top three receivers is what made the All-Pro team, the first team All-Pro.
Yeah. Well, with that be out of the way, gentlemen, let's talk about the playoffs. The wild card round over this past weekend was kind of lame, not going to lie. Most of the games were blowouts. I think that is indicative of just how bleh the league has been this year, but there's still plenty to talk about with each game. With that being said, we'll start with the first game. And Ravens fans, I know you're probably a little concerned because the Texans took the Browns behind a woodshed and beat the ever-loving shit out of them.
Ravens, as a co-host Ravens fan, not concerned at all.
That's my dude, bro.
Not concerned at all.
Not even a little. Y'all see CJ Stroud balling out and giving the Texans their biggest playoff win ever.
I understand that, and this isn't the same Texans team that the Ravens played Week 1, but this isn't the same Ravens team that the Texans played Week 1.
That's true.
That Ravens team that the Texans saw Week 1 was Odell stepping on the field for the first time in a year, Lamar Jackson learning a brand new system with a brand new set of receivers and running backs.
And
defense was also getting acclimated again together. The couple guys coming back from injury and things of that nature.
Yeah. Brandon Stevens had to figure out whether or not he's good. Justin Matabuike was wondering if he was going to take the next step. Both were answered yes, by the way.
And as locked in as Lamar Jackson has been the last couple weeks, there's no reason for the Ravens to be worried at all. Do the Texans bring in a team that could give a great fight, 1,000%.
Oh
We
yeah,
could easily see the Ravens blow them out without a doubt, and not be shocked at it at all.
the way that the Texans beat I was convinced. I thought Cleveland was going to take this one. I thought
too.
this was good.
We
That
all
first,
took Cleveland to win.
after
We
that
did.
first half, like that, because it was a good first half at first. It was good back and forth. Like the Browns were answering the Texans. It was like, okay, this is living up to the hype. This is going to be like a shootout. Both of these teams, they've kind of been rattled by injuries this season. I know the Texans lost another one of their receivers. That's something to keep your eyes on. But the second that Joe Flacco threw those back-to-back pick sixes, it was like, okay, never mind. So the Browns are proving that you cannot advance to the playoffs with half your roster injured.
Can I talk about those?
34-20 Ravens.
Can I talk about the pick sixes for a second?
Yeah.
The first one, I was just like, he was pressured and it was kind of an off throw. I heard someone told me they thought he was trying to throw it out of bounds. I don't know, maybe. It wasn't a great throw. The second one was that one brought me back to the bad years of Joe Flacco, who sorry, Super Bowl MVP Joe Flacco.
No one was getting flashbacks.
No, because that was one of the worst. He just didn't see him. It was like two curl routes back to like just I think Amari was running a deeper one, and then I think it was like the tight end, Harrison Bryant. He was running like a more shallow one. I don't think I'm using the word shallow correctly in terms of football, but whatever. And he just the middle linebacker was right there reading the whole thing, and Flacco just threw it anyways. I mean, that would have been. I think, frankly, no, I don't think he saw him. I just don't think he didn't see him. Why didn't he just open? I swear to God.
I have to put that up there. That's hilarious.
Fine. I think that one kind of deserves the Josh Allen award this week.
Yeah. Let me pull it up. Our Josh Allen dumbass interception, because I don't think Josh Allen threw one this week. Our Josh Allen dumbass interception of the week, Joe Flacco.
That might have been the worst one I've ever seen him throw. But that being said, we can't take away from all Joe has done this year. He came off his couch to play for the Browns.
No, I'm not taking away
38,
from it.
He's been washed for years. Everybody wrote him off. And yet he threw like 4 300-yard games in a row. He balled out the last. I wish he could have beaten the Texans. To be fair, the Browns defense, that number 2 defense, does not look great in the last couple of weeks at all, and the Texans just destroyed them. I am a little nervous. I will say that. I'm not confident.
I'm disappearing for 2 seconds.
I'll miss you. I'm not confident at all. I mean, that's not true. I'm very confident, but I'm a little nervous about it.
I'm really nervous. Like, this Texans team's kind of got that like 2021 Bengals energy where everyone's counting them out and they're like, oh, we don't care. That concerns me. There's something about CJ Stroud, man, that scares me. There's just something about, I can't put my finger on, but there's just something about him that just concerns me. That gives me like not bad vibes, but just like, oh God, the Ravens really need to be on their A game. And also it's because I remember the last time the Ravens were the number 1 seed and what happened. They underestimated an opponent from the AFC South.
An AFC, an AFC South team, I know. So I really, come on, guys, please do not let that happen this year.
I want it to happen so bad. I want the Ravens to get this. And we'll talk more about that when we make our game predictions. Let's talk about the second game from Saturday, the one that nobody could watch because it was on Peacock. By the way, NBC sent out a fluff piece being like, we're so proud of what we did and accomplished with everyone tuning in to watch Peacock. No, absolutely not. No one was happy about that. Everyone illegally streamed that on Stream East. I hope they understand that. And if they keep doing that shit, it'll eventually lead to the NFL going to pay-per-view only. And that's going to fuck up their customer base. Because to be completely honest, our generation doesn't have the financial support to buy like 55,000 streaming platforms to watch just 1 or 2 games on each. It's stupid. Just bring back cable at this point. Like, don't put playoff games on Peacock, you fucking idiots. That's my rant over. Just Isaac's little rant.
I get it. Did you see what they put up like mid-game?
What?
Like did they put up like a discount code saying, "Hey, if you buy now, you get 50% off for the whole year"? Like they're trying to like advertise it because no one was.
Oh boy, and then you can watch. I don't know all the sports that. Well, okay, I'll be fair. Peacock actually is a really nice streaming service. I'm not even. This isn't even like a plug for Peacock. I'm just saying like. The amount of sports content they have on there is actually like really, really good. Yes, I am in a closet right now. I am in the manager's closet at work. Yeah, it is fun.
Get out of there. You don't belong there. I'm just kidding.
Shh, I'm technically a manager and everything but name and pay. Oop. No. So
I strongly object.
Yeah. Also, if you have Verizon, you can get Peacock free. That's how I got it in my last place. Now, so
But what if you don't have Verizon?
well, that's a problem. But no, Peacock actually isn't that bad. Like the amount of sports that are able to stream, like you can stream all sorts of motorsports, Premier League, of course the NFL playoff games, the Sunday Night Football. So there's a whole bunch of others. Plus, there's a lot of really good shows they got there too. If you're a fan of any of the Law and Orders or any of the Chicago multiverse,
Are we sponsored by these motherfuckers? What are you
no,
doing?
we're not. I'm just saying
We're
it's
running
not
a
bad.
commercial for them. Are they giving us money?
No, they're not. But
Then
I would really
don't
like
worry
it if
about
they
them. They're
did.
fine. They can worry about their own advertising.
Anyway, hashtag free Isaac. That's right. Get me out of this closet. They've locked me in here. No, so the Peacock game. I don't know. I'm driving you crazy, aren't I? Maybe I am. Maybe I am. Anyway, let's so Dolphins Chiefs. Fourth coldest game in NFL history. Temperature was in the negative 10s, felt like negative 31 because of the wind chill.
Oh my God,
Still
dude.
packed the stands. And Miami, well, if you didn't want to play in the cold, Miami, you should have won last Sunday night. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, Ford, do you remember that thing you were saying last week about Tua and like the cold weather and like the Dolphins and the cold weather? And then you see how exactly what you said happened, like to the letter. It's crazy, right?
Yep.
But
Absolutely.
You didn't predict his helmet cracking, so you're bad. Not a real.
That was crazy. I've never seen a helmet crack like that. I saw somebody on Twitter was like, he should be fined for helmet to helmet contact. It's like, nah, bro. Like that's the fact that he still played with a broken helmet and didn't even notice it. Like, I think he's good.
They're trying to apparently. Did you see him talk about it in the press conference after the game? He was like, "Yeah, they were telling me in the huddle," and I was like, "That's great, but I'm not coming out of the game, so let's go."
Yeah.
And they had they finished the drive, and then after that, they were like,
I know. I saw Pat on the sideline, like trying to get his new helmet on. I tell the trainer, like, it's frozen shut. It won't fit.
It's frozen shut. Why are you? Football sucks.
Football's such a weird sport. Listen, I love cold outdoor weather games. I am going to say this, RG3. I love you on Twitter, bro, but you were clowning when you said they had to postpone that. Okay. Don't be like that, man. Like, come on. Did y'all see that? Like RG3 was like,
I didn't see that. RG3's been kind of hit or miss lately with his takes, so I'm not gonna lie.
Well, he was doing that because
I love him forever, so it doesn't even matter.
He was saying that because of the whole controversy around the Bills Steelers game getting moved. But to be fair, I was really pissed off about that when it was first moved. But then you saw what was happening in Buffalo on Sunday. It was like, oh yeah. So if they play in that, someone actually is going to die.
Objectively, yes, but come on, what are they, pussies? Like, come on.
Oh, I know. Well, Buffalo used to
not going to play because there's a threat of death. Back when men were real men, I'm playing.
I know.
Safety first.
I love cold weather games. I think that really shows, that at the end of the day, the elements bring out the best. The elements toughen a team up. That Chiefs team came in there looking prepared. They knew their opponent was not going to be used to the cold, and they played, a flawless game. I think Tyreek has returned. I mean, he did have that crazy touchdown catch where he broke 5 tackles. That was pretty impressive. But outside of that, he is. But then he also got blown up by Trip McDuffie in the hardest hit of the season. I know that hit felt even worse because it was freezing cold. He got put on his ass. Man, Miami at this point, the question I'm going to turn to you guys is, what do the Dolphins have to do to get over the hump? Because this year they managed to get through the whole year with Tua
what did you
healthy.
Say? What did you say? You said they need a quarterback?
Yeah.
You like Tua?
What did Cam Newton say? Tua, Dak. Who else did he throw in there? I forgot. Game managers. That's what they are. They're game managers. You throw them out there. You're just saying, I just need you to do enough to win the game. I don't need you to go score me 3,000 million points. Just do enough to win the game. They're game managers. That's exactly what Tua is. He's a game manager. Like,
is that a good take?
He's not like. What has Tua done? What has Tua done in his years in Miami?
Honestly,
he has thrown the ball left-handed to amazing receivers and watched them get many yards after the catch.
He dropped 70 points on an average-ass Broncos team, and that's about it because
Raheem Mostert and Tyreek Hill dropped those points.
Yeah, Robbie fucking Anderson had a touchdown that day. Like, come on.
Robbie Chosen.
Like, you feel me? Like, what has Tua done for the Dolphins since he's been there? Nothing. He's a game manager, just like Cam Newton said. And
I don't. You know what?
What has he done that's great, bro? He
All
hasn't
right,
done
hold
anything.
up. Damn.
He hasn't done anything.
God damn.
I am kind of thinking I kind of agree with you a little bit, but I will say this. Yeah,
Like you can't say I don't mean to
accolades,
cut you off.
achievements, none of them are there. I agree with you, but you do have to acknowledge that there has been a tremendous amount of improvement since his first game. He has played better.
Yeah.
A lot better.
Okay, he played better. That's cool. That's cool.
He's played really well.
So why is it that? And this is the thing. You're a Ravens fan. You know how they do Lamar. Lamar has one bad game, and this guy needs to switch his position. This, that, and the third.
Oh yeah.
Why do we keep giving these other guys?
Literally, he throws a pick, and we're back to running back. I'm familiar.
Right. Why does he?
Our manager loves to bring that up.
Why do we keep giving these other guys year after year? He had an improvement. This, that, and the third. No, they're garbage.
Hey, whoa,
they're not doing shit.
No.
The man Tua, and then this is the thing. I always say Jalen Hurts is a 5-star guy. You put 5-star guys around him, he'll excel tremendously, 1,000%. We saw it last year. That's why they went to the Super Bowl. What happened this year? You took his 5-star guys away, and what just happened? The man put up 9 points. You feel me? I don't want to hear it's the play calling, it's this, it's that. You're the fucking quarterback. Make the call, change the call at the line if you don't like it. The man put up 9 points. Tua,
I'm putting that clip on Twitter. That deserves to be on Twitter.
I do have a rebuttal.
No. Let me finish here. Tua had nothing but 5-star guys around him. Devin A-Chain, 4.240. Tyreek Hill, 4.240. Jalen Waddle, 4.340.
Yes.
Raheem Mostert
on that team.
Raheem Mostert, the most touchdowns for a running back this year in the NFL. The guy had nothing but 5-star guys around him. What did he do in the playoffs? He went out there and he held his hands in his damn hand warmer because he was cold. Stop bitching. Stop being a bitch. Once Tua stops being a bitch, the Dolphins can go as far as they want to go. But as long as Tua's still being a bitch, the Dolphins not going nowhere. So what do the Dolphins need to do? They need to get a quarterback who's not being a bitch.
You know what? I'll give 40 this.
I fucking love that fucking aggression for no.
I love that. I love that.
I
can
I
see
don't
what
necessarily agree. I don't know what Tua did to you. Like spit in your coffee.
I can see what the little leaguers had to
I'm happy
experience
for
now.
that because we just got that little snippet. That was crazy.
That's what all the little
off.
leaguers. That's what the little leaguers had to deal with. They were probably
my
like,
God.
"I'm just gonna play Xbox, bro." Nah, man. No, listen. I'll give 40 this.
We need to get a quarterback in there. This kid's just crying. Like
I'll give 40 this. The most memorable thing to happen to the Tua Dolphins during the last couple of years, Tua wasn't even the quarterback. Y'all remember the no-look Hail Mary by Ryan Fitzpatrick in that Raiders
magic,
game?
baby.
It's Magic's no-look Hail Mary when he was getting face mask. That's the most incredible thing the Dolphins have done in the last 4 years outside of putting up 70 points on the Broncos. And again, well, that is impressive. It's the Denver Broncos. They stink. So I see your point.
Horrible.
Tua really hasn't become like this game changer. He hasn't been the guy that's like he's going to make a play. He's going to play like Lamar and Patrick. They make plays. You know, Patrick Mahomes like.
I gotta step in. I gotta step in here.
Listen, so I kind of agree with 40 here. Not entirely, but I
agree with 42, and I'm not going to defend Tua, but I do think he's making some unfair comparisons. He's comparing them to Lamar Jackson. At no point did I, and I know other people do, but they're stupid and crazy. At no point should anyone be putting Lamar Jackson's name in the same tier as these mediocre, middling quarterbacks like Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts. And
you pronounce his name wrong, bro. It's Tua turn the ball over.
Oh, that was that okay to say? You know, it's all right.
hey, that's the thing. It's a thing.
That's Tua. Tua's had so many flaws coming into the league. He was inaccurate as shit. He couldn't throw the ball deep, and then he was constantly putting the ball in harm's way. And 40 is 100% right. Nobody calls Tua on this stuff. They just see every little thing he does as good, and then the media just runs with that. And then next year, better. Next year, better. This year, he's played really well. Like throwing the ball deep. Don't get me wrong. Again, he has so much around him for sure. But then look at it like this. Okay, he is still putting the ball in harm's way, in ways that even like really people like Justin Herbert isn't. Like I'd say Tua is more closer to Josh Allen than Justin Herbert on the scale of just like those are both quarterbacks that I think put the ball in harm's way unnecessarily. Tua does it a lot. I gotta agree with 40. Like he does. I don't think Tua's trash. And you know what? I still think he can be the right. I think they can win with Tua, no problem. I think this was if he keeps improving, take his improvement from last year to this year, if he does that again next year, he will be good. He won't be elite, but he'll be good. He'll be solid.
Yeah.
Now
right now, and here's the thing. This is the difference between a game changer and a winner. Right now, if the Dolphins were down 3 points, a minute left, one timeout, and they had to go. No, matter of fact, 4 points. You got to go score a touchdown. 4 points, 1 minute left, one timeout. I'm shaking in my boots, honestly. I don't know if I don't have the confidence saying this guy's gonna go win me a football game. Now you throw a guy like Pat Mahomes out there, same situation. Lamar Jackson, same situation. There's nothing that I'm worried about. I have one timeout. I got a minute. These guys can go win me a football game.
Those are the two best quarterbacks in the league, though. Tua's
But
top
why?
10, maybe.
But Tua is talked about as he's one. Tua is talked about as he is one of these two best quarterbacks in the league.
That drives me nuts. That does drive me nuts. That's why that's honestly like I have no hatred in my heart for Tua whatsoever. I don't know what he did to you, but I have no hatred. But that's why I still pretty much 100% agree with you because of how he's talked about and everything. They do talk about him like he's this elite talent.
I don't have hatred for him. I just don't think he's as good as everybody says. I think he's overrated, just like Jalen Hurts.
You know who was right about Tua?
And Josh Allen, I think he's overrated.
You know who was right about Tua and who we didn't listen to?
The media storylines around those quarterbacks to what Lamar gets every week. Like it's
who's that, Isaac?
You know who was right about Tua? Brian Flores. The old coach, the coach, his first coach in Miami, Brian Flores, knew. There's a reason Brian Flores was so hesitant to put Tua. After those first couple of concussions, Brian Flores was super hesitant to put Tua back out there. Bro knew it's like he's not ready yet. He's got some work done. And the Dolphins organization was like, nah, he's the future. Kicked him out and put Mike McDaniel in there.
To be fair,
my take. That's my take.
Definitely more going on than that. And
Brian
Flores is a great defensive mind, not necessarily a great offensive one. So he might not.
That's
if
true.
he stays around, maybe Tua doesn't even get to where he is this year.
That is true too. But it's definitely something to consider because you do have to think about why was Brian Flores so hesitant to put Tua out there? And
Caleb Williams will be the same way. Everybody's gonna start. Everybody's on the Caleb Williams train.
Oh no!
Everybody's gonna be like, damn, who said it?
Listen, all I'm gonna say about Caleb Williams right now is that if we're going after Caleb Williams and questioning stuff, can we just not focus on the fact that he paints his nails? That is the dumbest excuse I've ever heard people going after him for. So Caleb's what?
Cool, but
let's focus on his actual stuff on the field and his work ethic and leadership, and let's not focus on the fact that he paints his nails tonight. That's so stupid that people are hyper fixating on that.
I know we're not going to get into it right now, but I will make one little comment. I kind of really like what I see from Caleb Williams so far.
I do too, but they're all definite. I do too, and I'll say this much:
we will see.
We'll see.
I'm gonna send you some film after this podcast, and maybe it'll change your mind.
Please do.
Before we move on to the next playoff game, all I'm going to say on Caleb Williams is that people need to realize USC did not have a defense last year. Just keep that in mind. Their defense was trash. Anyway, so Sunday's games. Bills Steelers obviously got rescheduled to Monday due to the heavy snow. Actually, we can cover that game really quick because that was easy. The Steelers had no business playing in that, but I'll give them credit. They made that game uncomfortably close because Buffalo always has this tendency to play when they have to play in the wild card round of playing that game really close and making us all nervous. So
I kind of wanted the Steelers to win. So
I did too. It would have been really funny.
The Ravens could put up 100 points.
NFL wanted Josh Allen, Mahomes part 4, man.
Oh, they did.
How many years do we need Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes?
Dude, come on. It's the new Brady Manning. It's their games when they play each other. It's really fun.
They are good games.
And then that's why I don't understand why everybody is like, there's going to be a lot of people that lose money on the Texans this weekend because if you don't see what the NFL wants, this is they're showing you right now. Like CJ Stroud made it to the second round because they're showing you what the new NFL era is going to be. The 4 quarterbacks that are left in the AFC are Lamar Jackson, CJ Stroud, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen. So
that's the future of the AFC right there.
Do you really think they're going to let CJ Stroud make it to an AFC championship before Lamar Jackson? Like, be realistic.
They better not. They better not.
I would argue that replace CJ Stroud with Joe Burrow and you have the 4 best. But
duh. But in terms of the future, Joe definitely wasn't himself this year.
No. I think that was more lingering injury stuff. But I'll say this on Bill Steelers, closer than I thought. Steelers played okay-ish. Tomlin walking out of the press conference in the middle of it tells me that he's only got a few more years left. Like I think at this point he's either pissed off at the reporters or he just knows like the Steelers are like, yeah, like you got one more year and then you're out, bro.
I have never liked Mike Tomlin, obviously, because I'm a Ravens fan, so I don't like the guy. But I have to admit, there's something about Mike Tomlin that I have actually always liked. I don't know what it is. He's kind of based. Like, I don't know. He's just no, honestly, like
no, he is.
I kind of fuck with Mike Tomlin. Like, I think he's an overrated coach and everything like that. And boo, Steelers.
It was
I don't like them.
It was like 20.
Something about Tomlin I was like, I don't know. It
was like
part of me respects the guy. He had to
2013.
deal with Ben, AB, Le'Veon Bell. So much freaking. I mean, you've seen the UT documentaries, all that shit. Days of Our Steelers.
Days of Our Steelers.
Whew, like that, he just has to deal with a packed locker room every time, and he's still putting up winning seasons every time. He gotta respect the guy.
He is based as hell. Remember that it was either like 2011, 2012, or 2013. One of those 3 years where the Steelers and the Ravens were playing, and Jacoby Jones like had broken loose for like a big kickoff return.
He tripped him. Yeah, I remember that.
Tomlin just blatantly steps onto the field into his way. Like that's the most based shit of it. Like Mike Tomlin is like, well, fuck it, someone's got to stop him.
About the game, though, I'll be honest. This is the only football game this weekend I did not watch. I don't know if it was because I already knew who was going to win or because I just don't like Josh Allen. But this is the only game. This is the only game I didn't watch this weekend. I don't know. It was the boring game of the weekend for me.
I got you for it. I completely agree. It's like, what are you even watching for? It's the Steelers.
Yeah,
and Josh Allen. You don't like.
The Steelers had no business. The Steelers had no business being in that game. Like
there were a couple of. Go ahead.
Mason Rudolph at quarterback was just no interest to me at all.
Yeah. Who's trying to see the Mason Rudolph Josh Allen matchup?
There were a couple of really nice plays.
Put that game on Peacock.
Like, yeah, that should have been on Peacock. There were a couple of. Well, no, they put Chiefs on Peacock because they wanted all the Swifties to buy it.
You know, that's actually very smart marketing.
Yeah,
I'll give it to them.
That's exactly what they did.
I'll give it to them.
I'll say this: the Bills had some really nice plays. Josh Allen had a 52-yard touchdown run, which is the second longest by a quarterback in playoff history, which was nice.
Did anyone else think he was going to fall?
I was just about to say, it also started something very controversial because a lot of people are saying that he went in for a fake slide, and that's why the Steelers defenders stopped going to tackle him.
The Kenny Pickett shit. I remember Kenny Pickett did that in college.
And they were also saying that this is not the first time. They're saying this is not the first time Josh Allen has done that to throw defenders off and to stop him to tackle.
You know what it is?
I haven't heard anything like that, but that's
Josh Allen. It may seem like that because Josh Allen runs like a fucking giraffe. Like that man is
so
too
weird,
big,
right?
Yeah, he runs like in slow motion. So I guess that it's so weird. But yeah, no.
I thought he was gonna. Y'all remember when Daniel Jones was like in the open field and he just tripped and fell?
Oh yeah,
I do.
Yeah, it's hilarious, right? I swear, I was like, she's gonna trip and fall here. Like I was watching Josh Allen, and I was like, that's exactly what's gonna happen. I like full unexpected. When it didn't, I was like, oh, he scored, as if it wasn't like, like, yeah, I was like, whoa, I expected him to fall. I don't know what it was, just watching him run. And, like,
he does have an ugly ass run.
So, one last thing I'll say on this game, the fact that there was, I did like that every time the Bills scored a touchdown, their fans would just throw snow into the air because that did lead to a really cool effect. There was so much snow left in the stands. The Bills actually, they paid fans $20 an hour to come shovel snow overnight to clear the stands, and they cleared like half of it. And I think
they also gave fans like free roaming for seats. You didn't have assigned seats in the game. You just had to have the ticket, and you can go sit wherever you want to sit.
That's cool. As much as I don't like the Bills, I like their fan culture and the way they support their fans is really nice. Even if their fans are crazy.
They ban jumping through tables.
Y'all have seen that.
Y'all clearly don't like their fans.
Y'all have seen that clip of like the Bills fans throwing a dildo at Tom Brady, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did see that.
Anyway, let's talk about the NFC ones because I think the NFC playoffs were a bit more interesting. So first up, Monday night, the Eagles finished their collapse in brutal fashion as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat that ass. They worked that ass. They made the Eagles their bitch. Oh, it was wonderful.
What are we allowed to say? It's kind of like a Philly network.
It is a Philly network. I'll say this much on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Enjoy that.
They are who we thought they were.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
To everybody on all of the Philly shows and support us, we're so sorry for your loss. But come on, guys.
You're not.
Well, no, I'm not.
Hey, look, man. All the guys on the Philly networks, look, I'm not sorry for your loss. I've been telling you guys, like, you guys can throw the hate at me. Don't throw it at Isaac and Noam. Throw it at me. I already told you guys about your team weeks ago. I told you about your quarterback the first time I ever hopped on this show. The guy didn't have his 5-star guys around him, so he collapsed. And that's what it was. They are who we thought they were.
It was kind of like after the Niners game where the Niners just beat the shit out of them. Like, it was like the Niners went to the rest of the league. It's like, we got him. We figured him out. Here's how to beat Philly. And it was just
And
painful.
then they lost to Drew Lock.
Oh, that was great. No, it was just painful, man. Like, it was.
And then they
I
lost the Cardinals.
I didn't even get to watch most of that game because there was like my fire alarm went off in my apartment. We had to evacuate my apartment because there was too much.
You didn't miss much.
I didn't miss much. I came back, the game was over. It was like Bucks advanced. Like, woo, we're going to Detroit. Shit, we're going to Detroit. Oh shit.
They made David Moore look like he was prime Antonio Brown, 2 catches for 86 yards, and like,
yeah. We just that was probably one of the most impressive wins the Bucks have had in the playoffs, and we scored 48 points in the Super Bowl, and this honestly felt not as impressive because that Super Bowl we kind of had an unfair advantage. We had an unfair ass advantage in that Super Bowl. This was up there with like the second Super Bowl win. No, we had an unfair advantage there too.
Didn't we all take Philly to win? I'm sorry, didn't we all take Tampa Bay to win?
I think we did. I was convinced that they would put up more of a fight, though. I didn't think it would just be 9 points. The most impressive part of the night is when we stopped the tush push on the 1 yard line. That was wonderful. That was like the prime.
You mean that face mask penalty? I'm sorry. I'm playing devil's advocate. That's so obnoxious. Like, come on. Like, you're acting like the face mask. He wasn't already being tackled. Like, yeah, it's a penalty. A penalty is a penalty, but that's not why they stopped him. It's because they got a face mask, and it was already on the way down. It was like incidental face mask.
Listen, Kylie. I'll say this for Kylie: if you're watching or you're listening, Kylie, I appreciate you being a good sport yesterday. I know I was being an asshole at work and like teasing you about it, but the Eagles definitely they're going to see some big changes from the Eagles, and I think they're not going to take this.
Thought they were.
Yeah, and I will say congrats to Jason Kelce on a hell of a career, probably one of the greatest centers in NFL history, first ballot Hall of Famer. I will say it was kind of emotional seeing him on the sideline, like talking to Jordan Mailata, being like, this was going to be my last ride, bro. It wasn't supposed to end like this. I was like,
no, well, man, it's just I wish they didn't have to be exactly. I'm going to go off on the Eagles a little bit. I wish they did not have to be exactly who we thought they were. Like, we're looking at a team in full collapse, and every game seemingly like they are equally unimpressive, and it's just a downward spiral. Since that loss to the 49ers, it's just been awful, and they've never bounced back whatsoever. Like, they beat the Giants barely once, but that's it. Like that, man. And so then they get into this game, and I'm thinking, this is when it matters the most. I'm thinking, I already knew. It's like we all knew. Yeah, like continuing this trajectory, they're just going to be terrible in this game too, and absolutely nothing is going to change. But how do you not make any changes in what you're doing? How do you make no changes? The Eagles need to take a serious look at themselves because they were complete frauds and they got completely exposed. I don't think I've ever seen a collapse like this, to be honest. Because remember, the Eagles, they are a good team. They have so much talent.
And Devontae Smith went for took a slant route 40 yards on third down. They never went back to the slant route again.
I saw that. That's crazy. And it worked against a blitz. And this goes back into what Forty was saying earlier about Hurts and being the 5-star guy. He's the quarterback. If he sees that blitz, make that audible. Have him run the same shit if it worked once. Like, why? But this is like, man, Sirianni as a head coach, I have been like kind of defending him. I'm like, oh, it's not really his fault. But no, he's one of the most unimpressive coaches to me at the end of this year. And man, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, both got to go.
Also, though, I will say, as hard as I am on Jalen Hurts every week on this podcast, you can definitely see that it has to do with something upstairs. Because Jalen Hurts, how I say he doesn't call any audibles this year. Last year, you were seeing him do that constantly. He'll check a play in a heartbeat last year. This year, he's not doing it at all, or he wasn't doing it as much. So I don't know if that's an upstairs thing and what happened with that. If he only has, the key in the ignition, but he's not allowed to drive off the lot yet, or what. But like, I don't know. Like, it's definitely a crazy change from last year and this year, where he was calling and checking plays at the line.
You know what it might be? It might be the repertoire he has with the offensive coordinator, with Brian Johnson, as opposed to not Steve Sarkisian, Shane Steichen.
Yeah,
S name weird. Yeah, it's Shane Steichen's obviously a much better play caller than Brian Johnson is, but it could have been maybe he also trusts Jalen more, and because like you said, we're not seeing him do it this year. Maybe Brian Johnson just wants to do things a certain way, and Jalen's just trying to execute Brian Johnson's vision for the offense, and it's just garbage. Like, this play calling is garbage. It's from top. Like, man, when we knew the Eagles were winning ugly. They were winning ugly. We were like, they're not as good as they seem, or not as good as the 10-1 record shows. We all knew they'd lose to the 49ers, but a collapse like this is nuts. They fell apart. They play as if they are a bottom 5 team.
Yeah.
I mean, they might have been the worst team in the league to finish the year from that 49ers game on. They might have actually been the team in the league. And it's just crazy when you consider the amount of talent they have. I know they didn't have A.J. Brown, whatever. Like, come on, it's the Bucs. The Bucs are not that good. You made them look like they're Super Bowl contenders.
So, with that being said,
sorry, Eagles, take a look at yourself.
Yeah.
Hold that L.
Now, I'm going to save the best for last. I will say quickly, congratulations to the Detroit Lions. For the first time since January of 1992, the Lions won a playoff game on Sunday night as they beat the Rams in, honestly, the only really good game of the entire weekend. Great game, by the way. Matt Stafford was like, you guys want to win a playoff game? You got to go through me. And he and Puka Nacua were cooking. That was a great game. Congrats to the Lions, man. That offense is scary. That offense is scary.
The most impressive win they've had all year to me. I did not think they were going to win. I was like, the Rams are much better than the record shows, and the Lions I kind of see as a little bit fraudulent too. Not quite like the Eagles or anything like that, but it's like, they do struggle against good teams.
I don't know if the Lions will make the Super Bowl, but they could definitely make a deep playoff run if they play like that.
I believe in them now. After this, they beat the Rams. I mean, shit.
And hey, the Rams. The Rams are the only team that lost this entire week that I'm actually very confident about their future. Like, the Rams, they are going to be a problem for a while, because as long as Stafford stays healthy and their young core of receivers they've got, they're going to be a problem.
This was supposed to be a rebuilding year for them, and they made the playoffs.
Yeah. And they have a first-round pick. They have a first-round pick next year.
They do, for once. Interesting. They'll probably trade back. They're like, we don't know what to do with it.
Yeah. No, that was impressive. All I'm gonna say is that when Eminem showed up on the NBC promos and basically told the Lions, like, come on, don't blow this one, I was like, oh god, they're not losing.
Not miss your chance to blow, and they were like, okay, sure.
Yeah, we got this. I will say it was cool. NBC showed that 89-year-old guy who had been a season ticket holder for 66 years, and I was like, wow, he finally got to see a playoff win.
Oh, that's 66 years of pain. Holy shit!
And just one dude, you'd realize he got a season tickets in 1970. The Lions have won one playoff game. Have only won 2 playoff games during his lifetime.
Cowboys in this one. Yeah, that's nuts. That's crazy. I don't know how people stick through shit like that. You got more strength than I did, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it, man. Then again, most of my teams are fairly successful, so I don't have to. It's gonna be dark days when the Yankees finally fall back into the circle of hell.
You guys are Tampa Bay's it for a reckoning, so I don't know about that, but we'll see.
Well, we're about to find out. Our final game before we get into our divisional round picks. Stay with me, guys. When
the Dallas Cowboys suck. That's not what you're gonna say.
So somehow the NFC East, the Eagles weren't the biggest collapse. When the 2 seed was introduced, we all knew. Not the 2 seed. When the 7 seed was introduced, we all knew some unlucky fuckers are going to be the first 2 seed to lose. And we always thought it's like, oh god, whoever it's going to be horrible. But there was one team we were like, okay, well, if they get the 2 seed, we're going to hope they lose. Say it with me, boys. How about them Cowboys?
Oh, my God. If you're like, you said it last week. You're just like, this is going to be the week that it happens, that a 2 seed loses to a 7 seed. And yeah, of course, if the Dallas first round exits get the 2nd seed, they're going to be the first team out and lose to the 7th seed. And that's exactly what happened.
They would lose like that, though. They got 48 points dropped on them by a Green Bay team that just barely cracked 500.
I gave every reason on the podcast last week why the Cowboys should win this game. And even though I did that, I noted I was just like, every time I believe in their opposition and I say, the Cowboys, they're fraudulent, so I'm going to take the other team. They end up proving me wrong. So this week I took the Cowboys, hoping that they would get upset. Well, you guys both took the Packers, who I wanted to take, and the Packers annihilated them. So obviously, it's all due to me. Obviously, I did that. I caused that. You're welcome.
Good job,
Green Bay.
Noam.
Thank you.
Good job, Noam. This is why you're one of my favorite friends, Noam. Good job. You even helped us laugh at the Cowboys.
Dude, it was. I just looked up. I was out. We were celebrating my sister's birthday dinner. I look up at the TV. 27-7. I'm like, huh? Like I didn't know anything going into that game. I wasn't having any updates whatsoever until then. That's when I started watching the game, and then it just kept scoring and scoring. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, I'm not gonna. Don't worry, I'm not gonna do it. I listen. I'll say this much on that. Dallas, that's all you're getting from me. Wow, just
an applaud.
Wow, just wow. Listen, I'll say this much on the Cowboys. If you watch that live stream, if you watch the podcast between what's his face, Shannon and Ocho Cinco, their podcast, Ocho Cinco is like, the problem is Jerry. It's Jerry Jones. He's micromanaging. Like it always happens. Like what has been the single common denominator for the Cowboys during this streak? As Funko Pop Lamar
losing.
Yeah, losing. And Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is the only person who has been there for all of this. At what point do we turn around and be like, hey man, you gotta stop. Hey man, it's time to step down as general manager. He's the one guy who hasn't changed. And I know what people are going to say. Well, they have to play the game on the field. And you're right. They do. And the Cowboys have some issues out there. I think, Dak. I'll say this much for Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, I'm not going to say he sucks, but he's not.
He sucks.
He's not as good as he was when he first started. He has definitely fallen off a lot. And that game really showed it. Yes, I did acknowledge Funko Pop Lamar. Hi, Funko Pop Lamar. No. The common denominator is Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones has been there this whole time since the losing streak started. And
hold on, I'm disappearing for 1 second.
You're good, man. And at the end of the day, at what point does the Cowboys organization say, hey, man, maybe you should step down? But they can't, because Jerry Jones is Emperor Palpatine and has complete control. The Cowboys are in hell. The Cowboys are in hell. He's the owner.
He owns the team.
And he's the general manager, bro. Literally.
I know, it's so stupid. Why would, they can't sell him to fuck off. He owns the team. They can't sell him.
Dallas,
and to be fair, it's not like he's not putting talent around them, man. Like they have the best one of the best offensive lines last 10 years, if not the best.
They have the best offensive line. They
Great
were the
receiving
best
core.
offense.
CeeDee Lamb. I mean, Michael Gallup's fallen off a cliff, but
they were the best offense in football this past season. The best offense, and they had 48 points scored on them.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like they had every reason they should have won this game. Packers, the wild card, barely sneaks into the playoffs. Youngest team in the playoffs currently. They got a Joe Barry defense. Like their defense is dog shit. It's terrible. And the Cowboys are insanely talented. And what do you know? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good the Cowboys are. It doesn't matter how good they are. They will lose every time. They will lose every time. It's honestly hilarious. They will lose every time. Literally.
Yeah.
There's just nothing you can do. They will lose every time. I think the NFC East should be just banned. Like, come on, like, stop doing this to us.
Yeah. We're tired of this.
If all of the NFC East is just terrible teams and frauds, why get rid of them? Gone. Goodbye. Disband them.
Yeah, the NFC is dog shit. I agree with that. The NFC East in particular. So, I don't know, man.
Damn, I lost Isaac.
I'm just glad it finally happened. Could have happened to a classier organization.
I can't hear Isaac.
Hear Isaac?
No.
Technical difficulties. I can hear him fine.
No. Are we having our technical? Oh, you know what we say. It's time for technical difficulties.
All right, let me exit and come back.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what we say, folks. It is not an episode of Beer Batter Sports if we don't have technical difficulties. So, with that being said, I need to get back to work soon, so we need to wrap this episode up. Let's talk about our divisional round picks, and let me just add 40 back. 40, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
There we go. we're going to do our divisional round picks, and we're going to start with the first game coming up, Texans versus the Ravens, Saturday afternoon. I really hope the party I'm going to on Saturday has a TV so I can at least tune into this a little bit. So, Gnome, we'll start with you, Ravens fan.
The Ravens. I hope the Ravens. I'm believing in my team. I hope the Ravens can win. They are the best team in the league right now. They should handle the Texans. I hope they don't overlook them. I hope they take the game seriously. Just got to get in there and execute, and they will win the game. So I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens.
Ravens, I'm going to take the Ravens too, but God, they need to do this. I don't want a repeat of 2019 when they just fell apart. I keep thinking about that, and it scares me. It's like
I want that even less than you do.
They need to lock in. Like, they need to lock in, man. 40, say the line.
Oh, shit. Whoa.
Nice.
Long as Date's on the field. Long as Date's on the field.
As long as it's on the field.
You know who I got.
As long as it's on the field.
Listen, man, they better. Like, it scares me. Now, our second divisional game, Green Bay at San Francisco. Fun fact, this is about to make history as the most played playoff matchup of all time. This will be the 10th time these two teams have met, which breaks a four-way tie between Packers-Niners, Rams-Cowboys, Niners-Cowboys, and Packers-Cowboys for the most frequent matchups in playoff history. This will be the 10th meeting between these two teams in the playoffs. And I'll be honest with you guys, as much as Green Bay makes a good case of going on a deep run and pulling the upset, I still got to take San Francisco because I think the 49ers have just got too much talent on their side. I don't think the 49ers are a lock to make the Super Bowl out of the NFC, but I do think that San Francisco is going to get the job done against Green Bay. They better, because it would look really, really bad. If this Packers team becomes the first 7th seed to get to the conference championship, like, they're going to go down in history as the giant killers have knocked off the 2 and the 1 seed. But as far as I'm concerned, the 49ers are going to thrash these guys. It's not going to be like a massive blowout, but it will definitely be a convincing win. Green Bay probably still scores like 20 points. Also, Joe Barry defense against the Niners offense, good God.
Green Bay actually very impressed me this week. They did a lot of impressive work. Very impressive Jordan Love. If they come in this week with that same energy, they can put up a good fight, but they are not going to come out with the W. Like you said, Isaac, San Francisco just has way too much talent. Not only do they have too much talent, I think this is the year they get over the hump to take the team to the Super Bowl. I mean, seeing what the Lions did last week, like you said, they're not very much of a lock to be in the Super Bowl this year anymore, but they should be the team that represents the NFC in the Super Bowl. We got Christian McCaffrey, got Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. They're all healthy. They're all out there. So give me the Niners, man.
No, what do you think?
Everything Forty said is I agree with. The only thing I can add to it is what you've already said is repeat. Joe Barry defense against the 49ers offense. Shanahan schemes, double Debos, McCaffrey, basically got 4 All-Pros. Yeah, I just think they're too outmatched here. But they did impress me. Sunday
afternoon, Bucks-Lions facing off. Old NFC Central rivalry, if you know, you know. I'm gonna be honest. As much as I want my Bucks to pull off an upset, I don't think we do against that Detroit offense. They were scoring nonstop at the start of that game against the Rams. Bucks defense is gonna be tough because our defense is low-key really, really nice. But that Lions offense, I think, is just they've got too much running on them. They are not gonna miss an opportunity to win 2 playoff games in the same year, which I don't think they've done since the 50s. I'm gonna take the Lions.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Lions here as well, just because the Tampa Bay offense doesn't have the offense to keep up with the Lions offense. Don't get me wrong, they do have a great defense. Tampa Bay has an amazing defense, but offensive-wise, you don't know what Baker Mayfield you're getting week in and week out. So you never really know if you're going to have Baker Mayfield that throws for 400 yards or Baker Mayfield that throws for 111 yards. So, I'm going to go with the Lions here just because they have the better offensive team.
That's oddly specific. The Bucks. It's 111 yards. The Bucks impressed against a very poor Eagles team that was playing as if they were the Panthers. The Bucks struggled against the actual Panthers not too long ago. I think momentum-wise, I think I'm leaning Detroit, who are already coming in as a superior team. So I'm going to take Detroit. I think the Detroit Lions advance to the NFC Championship, and I think this road continues. I hope it does, man. I hope it does.
I will say this though: if Detroit does try to run the ball, they'll have to deal with the monster that is Tavita Tuliaki Ono Tui Pulotu Mosesi Vahahi Fahoko Filatau Vea in the middle. So
he's so impressed with himself that he can say Vita Vea's whole name.
That's all I wanted to do. Sorry, I need an excuse.
You know how many hours I've seen him practicing it? Like,
I'm gonna make a running joke where I just say Tavita Tuliaki Ono Tui Pulotu Mosesi Vahai.
He messed up. You heard him. You heard that for
I stuttered. Shut up! I stuttered. I'm gonna make it an effort now to say his name every episode. Trash. So we're all taking the Lions. Final game: Chiefs Bills. Mahomes Allen for. Oh boy, here we go. Actually, this is the third time they met in the playoffs, not the fourth.
We basically already discussed this last week when we were doing our playoff predictions, and what I said, and I think what we all kind of said is that, it's on to will the Chiefs receivers blow the game more than Josh Allen will, and I just kind of have more faith in Patrick Mahomes at the end of the day, so I'm taking the Chiefs.
I want a Chiefs upset. Go give me Chiefs. Buffalo. I'm sorry, Buffalo, but it's got to happen. Josh Allen didn't throw an interception this week, which means he's going to throw like 5.
I don't even feel like I need to answer this question. You guys know what I'm thinking.
With that being said,
Bills, of course,
we're going to wrap up this week's episode of Beer Battered Sports. Hey, remember, guys, episode 100 is coming up in 2 weeks. Our Super Bowl preview episode is probably going to be episode 100, so keep that in mind. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching today's episode. Remember, Beer Battered Sports is a proud affiliate of the Fired Up Sports Network. Go follow all of the other shows on the network, including our friends over at Bell Smashers. Hi, Kylie and Jen. You can follow us on all of our social media platforms at bbsports_pod, and check out our Twitter bio for our merch. You can get one of these nice hoodies with the BBS logo on the back too. The actual like yellow and blue logo, not just this. That would be weird. Get you one of these. They're really nice. It's like negative 2 degrees here in Maryland or something. I don't know. It feels like that. And these, I've been nice and toasty in this. With that being said, we will see you guys next week for our conference championship predictions and hopefully talk about baseball because that starts in like a month. So, yeah, we will see you guys next week. And let me...
What the heck?
What the hell?